All right, folks. Good afternoon from Sky Bacon Stadium. That's the new name, Kevin. Sky Bacon Stadium.
You won't forget it, will you?
No, I don't think you'll forget that one. We are going live here. We got some interviews that we recorded earlier with Coach Perkins and some of the Francis Howell guys. We got some great stuff this afternoon. Licking Wildcats just won the Class 3 state title. We're watching them celebrate over here, and we're going to get the coach over hopefully here in just a minute.
Coach Have Antle, yes.
There you go. Kevin's all over it, man. We're letting them celebrate with the kids first, right?
Hey, this is a special time, and you work so hard for all this. You got to let these guys enjoy the moment.
That's what you got to do. And but I think it's been interesting today watching the Class 3. The difference is it's not that these kids aren't good players. I think you have the difference in sometimes size, physical maturity sometimes. You have some big kids here, but program depth, as we've talked about, is one of the big keys. And I made this point to you, Kevin, earlier. In these two games, the third place and the state title, the errors were made in the first inning.
It's that team that can settle down and settle in first is at a significant advantage. And we talked about that with Coach Perkins, about how the experience of having been there before would help in the process. Congratulations, Coach. Harv, good to see you.
Go over and grab a seat right there, Coach. We'll get you some headphones on and
cameras. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you. The kids were awesome. They did a great job over the last 2 days and really all the way through the postseason. Very comfortable in their own skin, confident in their abilities, and a tremendous level of trust in each other, and they executed well.
We were just talking about how obviously anyone that gets here is playing at a high level on a really good team, and anyone that gets to this point has had a great season and capable of winning. But we were talking about how important it was or is for that team that can figure out how to kind of settle into the baseball game, not let things speed up on them, not make it more than it is, which is it's a really important baseball game, but it's still a baseball game. You got to execute the fundamentals, keep your head about yourself, and that's one of the keys to playing at a high level here at the state tournament. Would you agree?
I would agree 100%, and that's one of the things that we've stressed to the kids all the way through the playoffs is you have to be you. You can't be something that you're not and attempt to do things that you haven't done. We have to play our style of baseball. We have to remain relaxed and let the game come to us and execute in situations that come up in the game. And we're just playing baseball. The hardest thing for us was to get out of the district. Very difficult. It had been a long time since we had done that, 20 years as a matter of fact. And I think once we were able to break through that ceiling, it was a huge sigh of relief, and the kids were able to trust themselves, trust each other, and just go play baseball, and that's huge.
Absolutely. Obviously, Keller Davis was in control the whole game. Talk about how important it was for him to throw up a couple quick early zeros, and it looks like he's been doing that all season, so that has to be a confidence boost for all the guys, right?
Right, and statistically he's been our best guy. If you look at his numbers, he doesn't allow that many base runners. He'll give up a handful of hits, but he scatters them. He doesn't give up the freebies. He doesn't walk guys. He doesn't hit guys. He's able to get the ground ball when he needs it. He's able to get in on a guy's hands and pop him up. Very confident in his abilities. Not our hardest thrower by a long stretch, but he's able to mix and match and pitch off that fastball, those curveball, and a little bit of a slider. And He has confidence in any count to throw any of his pitches, and that's an excellent observation. He was definitely in control and wanted the ball.
He just attacked the zone. Like, he was in command the entire time, and his battery mate Malachi, unbelievable job back there. Obviously, I know that's your son, so you might feel, but you could tell one of the leaders, if not the leader of the team back there, and that's another. It's true at even the big league level, but I feel like college, high school, it's even maybe most important at the high school level, because you don't see a ton of great or very good catchers at the high school level. Talk to us about how important that position is, and when you get a guy like that.
It's huge. It's part of controlling that traffic on the bases with that guy behind the plate. He's got to be in sync with his pitcher, and we have total trust in Malachi. And a little bit unusual is that we don't call a single pitch from the dugout.
That's awesome.
It's on Malachi. It's on the pitcher. They're in agreement. And we tell Malachi he's calling the game, but we also whisper in the pitcher's ear, hey, he's making suggestions. You're the one calling it. And so that's why you may see something a little unusual in a hitter's count, and we may scratch our heads from the dugout, but we trust those guys, and they do a great job, and I thought that was evident over the last couple of days, and we just let them go, and that's part of our developmental process, and that allows us to do some other things as coaches rather than having to be locked in on every pitch and trying to control the game. We want them to go play baseball.
I'm sure you know this. In my opinion, that actually takes a higher level of coaching out of you to prepare your catcher to be able to do that on his own. It's not, hey, it's on your own. You've obviously prepared Malachi to do that, and that takes a tremendous amount of effort and work. So, major credit to you. I love seeing that. I always root for that, especially in college baseball. In general, you never see that at the high school. So
right.
It's a credit to Malachi. And now Malachi's heading to State Fair, is that correct?
That's right. He's going to go play for another ex-catcher, Judd Kendall, down there at State Fair, and I think that's a good fit for him. And he brings some good catch and throw skills in, and the bat's starting to come around a little bit. And he's going to be a JUCO bandit like his older brother was.
Yes,
and
Gideon.
That's right. And Silas is a junior, and he's probably looking to be a JUCO bandit as well.
So,
Sorry, Coach.
Final thing I'm going to leave you with, and I'm going to make you a little uncomfortable. My favorite part of the whole thing is watching the guys do the dog pile, and just the culmination of, all the work they put into a season. But what it almost brought a tear to my eye when I saw your two sons come up and hug you after the game. That was really cool, and that had to have been extra sweet and special.
Very special, and I've mentioned to a couple of different people that it's just been a family affair, and to be able to share that experience with two sons on the team, two more sons in the stands watching. My wife's here, my mom is here, and so we're all sharing in the experience, and it is it's an awesome feeling. And quick story about the dog pile there. This is also something maybe a little bit unusual, but we actually practiced that, not from a physical standpoint, but when we were in the district tournament, and it had been a 20-year drought for Licking to get out of the district. When we came in to hit that day in our indoor through our clubhouse, we had on a loop on the TV the College World Series Finals, the last play in the dog pile from 2010 on. So they were seeing that, and they were seeing how that worked and what all the particulars were of the dog pile. And so they dog piled after the district championship, and they dogpiled here after the state championship, and so that's been a part of their preparation. So that was so much fun to see them execute that so well.
I love it. Well, congratulations again, Coach. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know you guys will.
Thank you so much.
Congrats, Coach. Folks, appreciate. We're gonna continue on here, talking here, and Kevin is
pretty good.
is meeting and greeting with some folks, and as we're live here, they're celebrating over here. We're going to get to the Francis Howell Vikings here in just a second, and in fact, I'm going to cue this up
So what are you up to this summer?
This
so
summer,
that
I've been dealing
we
with
know
hamstring stuff, so
we
they
got
didn't want
this
me to
coming.
play, really. So I've been back home. We got a big facility about
And
the
we
size
can
of
get
that
to-
back home Licking. Yeah, it's pretty good size. So we
the Vikings players.
good to see you.
How's it going?
Kevin's glad handing a little bit.
Training down there.
So
Congrats.
Thank you.
we're going to
Excited about it. Yeah.
flip over
What are
here
you
real
up to
quick
this summer?
Probably just training up here a lot, and I might try to get into
and enjoy the interview. Brysen Nepute, or as he called it, Neptune.
Yes, sir. Did you?
Hey, young men, Caleb Miller, Brett Norfleet, Brysen Nepute, or as he called it, Neptune.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't help it.
Either way,
From
it's
the
fine.
Francis Howell Vikings.
Hey, good luck.
Guys, thanks for stopping by.
Guys.
Thanks for
Anytime.
having us.
Our pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you just got done with practice. You know, second year back here.
Yes, sir.
What's different?
We're seniors, so I feel like we got more that counts, you know, because this is really our last opportunity and our last chance to be able to get a state title. So it's a big difference, I say.
To piggyback off of that, I think something else that's different is the fact that we have some experience to come here. Last year we didn't really know what we were getting into, but I think now we got a grasp of it. So
Yeah, I think Brysen said it perfectly. It's our last chance to get something done in our high school career, so I think we all want it really bad.
Very good. You guys have had, you always play great competition. So, I mean, I was shocked. Coach is getting on me because I picked Fort Zumwalt West, but you'd lost 4 times to them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
What gave you the confidence going into that district championship game?
Well, I think last year beating them in the district championship really gave us like that kind of like, all right, we've done it before, so we can do it again. And then all we wanted to do was pretty much just play baseball, and that's what we did. It worked out.
Yeah, we knew we had the talent to beat them, and we know that the previous games didn't impact what we had to do that game, and we came out firing. We had a bunch of energy, and we were able to get it done.
tough to beat a good team 5 times in a row.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That's a
is true.
fact. Alex Bryan was nails too.
Oh
wasn't
my
he?
gosh,
oh my
yeah.
gosh, that was insane to watch.
All year he's been a really good pitcher for us. You know, he didn't contribute much last year, but this year he's been one of our guys.
That was one of his first big games that he threw in this year, and he owned up to it. So props to him for that.
That's big time when you guys are going into something like this. You know he's prepared for
Right,
a big
yeah.
moment, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, I'll get you out here on this. You know, personal perspective here, starting with you, Caleb, you know, as far as going out here as a senior. And go ahead and throw that mic up to close to your mouth there, buddy. There you go.
You know, it's just it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling. It's awesome being here. It'd be awesome to finish our year with the state title. You know, we were able to get it done in football, so doing it for baseball is just going to be an awesome accomplishment if we can get it done.
To go off of what he said, I was a part of the football team, and that was a pretty special year that we were able to put on. And to be a senior and have this be my last game for Hal, it would mean the world for me and for us to go out as, you know, champions and for a first place deal. So
I'm just thankful and blessed that we have the opportunity to be back here, and hopefully we can pull through and get us a ring.
Third time? Well, yeah, because you were with CBC that
Yes, sir.
1 year,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah, so that is your third
Yeah.
time. Heck, it's hard to get back here year after year,
Yes, sir.
let alone win it. So, guys, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
And,
much.
I
Rainbows.
appreciate it. And, you know, Coach, you might know this, but how many schools have won, like, the football title, baseball titles? That'd be pretty
Yeah,
impressive,
I
wouldn't
don't know. I haven't heard of anyone else that's done it at least in the same year.
it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got a lot of guys that were on our baseball team that were on our football team, so we got a lot of experience in big games, so it should be fun.
Absolutely. Brysen Nepute, Brett Norfleet, Caleb Miller. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
thank you.
That was a fun interview with those guys, and really enjoyed Brysen Nepute, Brett Norfleet, Caleb Miller. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Brysen Nepute, Kevin, it's going to be I think we'll see that in Bougainpool. And those are two contrasting styles, right?
Yes. Bougainpool, there's no secret what he's going to be doing. He's coming after you with, fastballs, big physical frame. Nepute is also going to become attacking the zone, but has a fastball, breaking ball mix and a changeup, and coming at you from the left side. So that's going to be it doesn't get much better than that. Those two matching up. So that's going to be a fun one tomorrow afternoon.
We've got. We're in the middle of the national anthem, and that's kind of tough. We're sitting here, so I'm trying to be a little respectful. Sorry, folks. Game's getting ready to start here. We're almost finished.
Yeah.
So we'll just let it play. And but this is Class 4 we got here, getting ready to start the third place game.
Third place game. That's right.
Yeah. So finishing up. The Brave. Amen to that.
I am really excited for tonight's 4A state championship game. That's going to be a fun one. Springfield Catholic, I believe, is going to have Coleman Morrison on the mound. Jeffco commit, and John Burrows is going to have Bowen Brantenham on the mound, heading to Air Force. That's good pitching matchup. Obviously, two of the best 4A teams in the state is an understatement. They're in the state finals, but have been there the whole year. This isn't like a surprise for either of them to be at this point. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that one tonight.
That's just fun as a fan, right? I mean, just as a fan of baseball, I know you see these kids all the time with PBR and you're talking about them that way, but just as a fan of baseball, this is one of those games, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. This is one you got circled. This is, regardless of class, this is and with these guys on the mound, they could get in there and compete with the 5 or the 6A, no problem.
Now, I want to say this real quick, or do this real quick. Before we went to the interview with the fellas from Francis Howell, who were these young men? They were former players of yours?
Yeah, former players of mine at Jeffco. Gideon Antle, Harv Antle, the coach of Licking High School, who just won the 3A state championship. So he was here supporting his dad and 2 younger brothers. He's now at Ohio University playing baseball there. And Heston Gray, who's from down here, who played for me went to Jeffco. I recruited to Jeffco and now is going to Southern Illinois Carbondale.
Wow, that's pretty good stuff, bud.
Yeah. Fun seeing those guys, and they're out here just supporting their alma mater.
There you go. We're going to get to Coach Perkins here in just a moment, but we got Fulton and Excelsior Springs. I saw a little bit of these guys yesterday. I think it's going to be a good ball game. We've had good baseball in this Class 3 and 4 all day, Kevin.
Yeah, I expect that at this level. This Excelsior Springs ball club in particular is a really good ball club. I know they lost a tight one yesterday. Yeah. We'll see what happens here in this third place game for them. But they've had a great year all season.
I think it's going to be fun. Fulton come out of a big-time district.
Yes, they did. So they're certainly battle-tested. This should be obviously should be a good game.
Because it was Fatima, Father Tolton, I think, was in there.
Yes, Father Tolton Catholic. It was the state champion last year at the 3A level, and then they got moved up.
So I think this is going to be good, interesting. We're gonna finish up today with our chat with Coach Perkins. We're going to let Kevin get down there and do his job and scout some of these guys.
Huh? get to my day job, right?
Yeah. And but we appreciate him being here. Tomorrow we'll be back here in the morning, 9 a.m. With
How about the day we got on slate for tomorrow, by the way?
What's that?
The day we got tomorrow is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
5A and 6A state championships. We got 4 big-time games set up for us tomorrow. It's going to be a full day, but a fun one.
I love it. I think anybody can come out of Class 5. I think all of those teams have an opportunity. It's who's gonna make a big play.
Absolutely.
So, your thoughts. You know, you started saying, how much have you seen Excelsior Springs here, Kevin?
I have not seen them other than for one batter.
Ah, there you go.
But they're a team I've been following this year. You know, it gets tough in my job. You know, you might think, how has Kevin not seen Excelsior Springs? Are one of the best teams. There's so many. There's over 400 high schools in the state of Missouri, and you literally cannot see them all. So sometimes the smaller schools get tough to see, but when you get an opportunity to see them at the state finals, state playoffs, districts, that's in general where I get to see the smaller schools in person. I see some of the players at events and whatnot. But unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but a lot of my time gets directed at the 6A, 5A, and the 4A schools during the course of the regular season.
Well, folks, we're going to jump over here and let Kevin get to that. I'll come back here. We're going to finish the show, but here's our chat with Coach Tony Perkins. 16, 19, 21, 22. All right, we got 2009. All right, we got Coach Perkins stepping in here. Coach, I'm looking at these numbers here. District titles since just 2009. 2011, 13, 14, 16, 19, 21, 22, 23. And I think the only reason you weren't there in 20 because we didn't play.
I would have had a good team that year.
Surprise.
4 state titles. You know, I think there was one back in the day. I think it was, yeah. 11, 13, 16. You got 4 second-place finishes, 3 third-place finishes, 1 fourth place. Here you are again.
Yeah. Isn't it great?
I think it is. It's impressive, that much winning.
I think the one cool thing about that, you said the 4th place, I think there's only one time we got 4th place, which means you didn't win a game. You know, but it's not quite an honor to be here, but at least we scrapped one game in there most of the time. You got to scrap the W in there somewhere.
Make it worth your while,
right?
right?
Either end your season on a W or, you know, your 2nd place.
Well, another great season, and here you are again. Some ups and downs throughout the course of the year, but, you know, we talked about it before the season starts. You like to put a challenging schedule together, and your team was certainly put through the fire before getting to postseason play, and it more than paid off, and you guys found your stride again, and honestly rolled pretty well right through districts and sectionals, despite playing some very good teams.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't hard. I mean, it wasn't easy. It's very, very hard to get through there. But you're right. The schedule that I gear towards, and we talked about this before, it's just, I just kind of make it as tough as I can on them. And, you know, what we're fixing to see every day, we've seen it. And we've done it. We've experienced it. We've been in big games. We've been in Columbia. We've been everywhere. You know, and it's, I am tough on them, but the whole goal is to, you know, get going at the right time, get hot at the right time, get that drive and desire going at the right time. And fortunately, our guys bought in, you know, and the seniors are buying in. I mean, a lot of times seniors just check out, you know, they just want to go off and go to college and get out of high school and want to mess around and don't even think about playing baseball. I got a feeling most of our guys are pretty locked in right now.
Whatever the recipe is, you have it for sure, because it has worked, as Brian just read off all the years there. So you got some sort of potion that's the right formula for this. So.
I can tell you what that is. Good players.
Yeah.
That usually
one of
is
the components,
the key.
right?
But there's certainly more to it than that.
Yes.
You know, if you're going to do it year in, year out, you do have to have good players, but there is something to be said for consistently getting here and putting those guys in the right position, which I feel like you obviously do a really good job of.
I appreciate that. I mean, there are parameters that you set up and there's rules that you have. You know, on the way down here, the kids asked if they could wear shorts today. We don't wear shorts at practice, you know. And so, but I gave in and I let them wear shorts at practice today, and so they
hot
were
on that turf, coach.
they were pretty shocked about that one. But you know,
I love that.
I let them
think
make some decisions too.
Yeah, finding the mood of the team, right? You've got a lot of seniors, you got some kids, and I love that because.
And I was going to say, you know, part of the trick of being a coach is finding that blend of making sure we're locked in, but then also keeping them loose. And you get to this point in time of the year, it's probably not a point in the time when you have to drop the hammer too often. You wouldn't be here if you did have to do that, right?
It is hard. Just again, we had 8 days off, you know, between games, and so you know you got to get after it in practice. And we're not even in school. You know, seniors got out before then, you know, and so you know some days I wasn't very happy with them, put it that way, you know, and I let them know. You know, you got to. I mean, we're got to get locked in, like you talking about, and get after it. And you know, this experience for them guys is just a lifelong experience for those guys. I mean, I said after this weekend, there'll be guys on this team you never see again. You know, but if you do see them at a reunion or 10 years or 20 years from now, you'll be talking about what happened during that high school baseball season.
So what's the plan here this week? So you bring all the guys up here tonight so they can see the stadium, or you kind of leave that up to them, or you guys go do a team dinner tonight, or let them off with their parents? What are you guys up to?
We got what are we up to? We're always up to something. We do have reservations at some restaurant. I don't even know what it is yet, but we got to catch up with them there, and we'll eat. And if the guys want to come by here and check it out, you know, that's why I brought these 3 guys here too, because it's fun. All 3 of them are here last year, but still, it's just funny to get acclimated to
see the park before the first pitch, right?
Right. You know, and we don't play till 4 o'clock, so it's going to be, I don't know. They got breakfast at the motel and then do a lunch, but you know,
keep them out of the sun.
Yeah, we'll probably be here about 2 o'clock, and then get ready to play tough Jackson team.
Very tough Jackson team. Now you guys played them early in the season, correct?
Yeah, but they didn't throw Bougainpoole or Sour.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's a different animal.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Those 2 are great pitchers. So yeah, we got our work cut out for us. But you know, we'll hopefully compete. Nepute's been good, and he's going to go tomorrow.
Kevin, you think they're going to see Bougainpoole?
That was the MO.
I would think, especially since he's the dual guy, but you know, you can't go wrong if you're Jackson. There's 2 great options there.
More velo with Bougainpoole.
Right.
Sour pitches a little bit better than Slider. You know, he don't walk nobody. Bougainpoole sometimes will, but you know, when it's 94, it's kind of tough to lay off.
Right. Makes for some tough swing decisions.
Yes.
It speeds up the process
in a hurry.
little bit.
Yeah, that's right. So, but it is what it is, and hopefully we can keep it close and see what happens.
Brian and I were talking about this earlier before this game starts, before this game behind us started. Feel like this is true, you know, with all baseball games, big league, high school, college, whatever. But I feel like it gets magnified in the state tournament. How important is defense at these state tournaments? Just because one extra out, one extra opportunity can change the game in a flash, can't it?
You're exactly right. I mean, not only the defense, but you know, the walks and hit by pitch, the free bases. You know, who can limit that aspect of the game's got a good chance. and I always tell my guys, I don't know if I've shared this on the show or not, but a lot of times I'll say, hey man, big games, you're going to make mistakes. I know you're going to make mistakes. You just got to lose that, move on to the next pitch, and you just move on. I said, what the good thing about that is? They're going to make mistakes too. And the key is to make less mistakes than they do. So that's something that I do hammer into my guys on that. So.
Absolutely. Now refresh us. Who did you guys play last year? Was it Liberty North and Blue Springs South last year?
Limburg.
Limburg, okay.
In the third place game.
Yeah, okay.
We went extra innings with Liberty North and got beat 4-3.
And that, in my opinion, was the game of the year last
awesome
year.
Game.
That was an unbelievable game. I know you came out on the wrong side.
Too bad we were on the wrong side.
You couldn't have had a much better baseball game. That was unbelievable.
That's the best high school baseball game
defensive web gems on both sides to extend the game. I still remember Sissel's play at second base, diving to take away a hit and extend the game. And
Coach Stiegel, after he won, he texted me. So we were talking. I said, wouldn't that be nice? I said, you don't know how bad I'd like to see that happen.
With Jackson and Nixa, they're really good teams.
Oh, yeah.
Both you guys got your work cut out to get to that point.
It depends on what Coach Stiegel does. He's got one win for sure. Just when he's going to do it last year, he didn't throw him in the semi.
Right. Yeah, he saved McGuire.
Yes. Tate.
Yeah, so it'll...
Yeah, that guy's one of the best ones around.
He's a little different, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's those are the big decisions you guys are, have to make this time of year. So.
That was kind of funny. I had some alumni kind of lurching around this last week, and they kept saying they were arguing about who I was going to throw on Friday. Some people said I should throw Brian. Some people said I'll throw Nepute. Well, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And I said, man, you guys got too much time on your hands. Thinking about that
jobs or what?
I said,
that's our job.
It's Nepute. I'm going to ride that horse as long as I can, man. I got to get there.
You got to get there to give yourself an opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
It's one thing when you have equally matched, and I shouldn't say that they're not, but some schools have, maybe not a clear-cut number one. I feel like you guys have a clear-cut number one.
Yes, I agree. Just like when we had Jake Kostiachuk, who was drafted with the Rockies, man. He threw the district semi, he threw the quarterfinal game, and he threw the state semifinal game. He never did throw a championship game, but he was also 10-0.
Yeah, that's right. And when you have that guy, he expects to get the ball and kind of sets the tone. And, this time of year, as much as anything, it can be a comforting factor for the rest of the team. It's like, all right, so-and-so's out there, and he puts up an early 0 or 2. All right, boys, we're here to play.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that we're not going to be lacking is Brysen Nepute's going to come to play.
Yes.
He's going to compete.
I love that. And we talked to the guys earlier, and they understand the moment. That's what I love about this, Kevin, because we talked to the guys, and they all understood it's a back-to-back. They're here again. The lessons from last year, I think that was telling, Coach.
I think that helps us. I mean, because anytime you can experience that situation, it's easier. I mean, like we see a guy 90, 91, the first time is like, wow. But if you continue to see that, you catch up to that and you can get on those pitches, And just being in this whole atmosphere and knowing the scene, they all played their club ball and traveled and got out of town. That's not a big deal getting in motels and stuff, but it's just the scene here inside this venue, you got to be locked in. And I think that gives us a little bit of an edge, I would think. I would think just experience-wise.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and that's true. As a coach, you love the experience, correct?
Oh, 100%, and I agree with everything Coach Perkins said. Most of his players, or at least half, have been through this experience once before, so it can only help. And even just knowing the park and knowing what to expect, and hey, it's not like a typical home game or road game. There's going to be some delays, some pomp and circumstance with the anthem and calling out the lineups, and there might be a little delay because there's a medal ceremony from the game before, and it's making sure the pitcher doesn't get hot before he's supposed to get hot, and just little things, but they are important things nonetheless.
They make one big thing, right?
Exactly.
This is Nepute's third Final Four.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's just crazy. And one thing I'll say about the Final Four is, and I told coaches and people this before, I mean, my first Final Four that I came, I was assistant coach in 1991, and I kind of told myself, cherish every moment, because, man, it's hard to get back to the Final Four, and you never know when you get back to the Final Four. And I've been fortunate that I've probably been more than most, but I always come with that same attitude. This could be my last Final Four. So I want to enjoy it personally myself.
There are a lot of really good teams in our state that aren't here,
Yes.
and that's something to always remember. No matter how many times you're fortunate enough to get here, it's not easy to get here, is it?
Not at all.
Well, just to your point, I'm doing some research. I'm looking at these schools. Jackson, who's had 5 district titles since
program.
2009.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
No Final Four. No Final Fours.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So,
and that's a great program.
And So how hard is it to get there? And I know people go, well, it's just high school. No, friend. When you're putting yourself in this position at this level, it's hard to win.
Absolutely. I mean, you're looking at my team. We got 8 guys going to play, baseball in college. That's not normal. but it kind of is normal at my place, because I always tell my guys when they're younger, I said, if you can come 4 years through Francis Howell baseball program, pretty good chance that you can go. We can find some place that you can play.
100%. And that at the 6A level now, in general, the teams that do make it here, they don't have the one stud and then a bunch of high school type players. They have maybe a stud or two, but then a roster full of guys that you see moving on to play college. They might not all be SEC players, but they're going somewhere to play. And you look at every roster that's here, you're going to find that.
Yes.
Jackson is absolutely loaded with college commitments, and then they have a couple studs. And Liberty North, no different. I mean, that's a ridiculous roster they have, and Nix is, has a really deep roster as well.
Liberty North's our twin. I said that last year. They're just like us, and I got them all back, and I only lost 1 too. So
I was looking through all this, Liberty North, Jackson, whatnot. The level of talent we're going to see this Final Four, in my estimation, in this state, is as good. I know I'm a Joe Schmo in all this, but dang, there is plenty of Power 5 kids littered throughout all of these teams, and you're going to see some high-level baseball in the next 2 days.
it is going to be special.
I remember sitting here last year at the very end of it and looking at the rosters and going through it. I'm like, man, 3 of these 4 teams probably will be better next year.
Yeah, that Blue Springs South.
2 of the 4 are back that I thought, or 2 of the 3 are back that I thought, and Blue Springs South
lost 4-3.
Yeah,
tight game.
And we're talking about great teams that aren't here and how hard it is to get back. Blue Springs South is one of the best teams in the state, and
absolutely
weren't able to make it, and certainly not short on talent, but a great program, and just goes to show you how hard it is to make it back here.
That's right.
And we've been talking about this for a while with Kevin, how the state of Missouri has grown in talent. Even here, we're watching this is the Class 3 state championship, and this is a really good ball game. It's 3-1. It's a really good ball game. That catch, the center fielder, is that one of the kids? Was that Cole Wallace?
I didn't see who made that play. I
number
knew it was
7?
the center field. Yes.
Nice. Oh, it's ball 4. Coach, he's diving in that corner over there on a dead run. Made a heck of a catch.
It's 3 bases if he doesn't get it.
You're
That's
right.
for sure.
And I mean, this is what I'm talking about. And we were watching that 12-inning marathon earlier. These kids were playing hard, playing good baseball. I really like where the state is. I really do. And I'm looking forward to it. Because Coach Sissel, he's talking to me way back at the beginning of the season at the sports barn. He said, our freshman squad is probably the most talented.
They're undefeated. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had at least 4 of them up off that team. And I had one of them in the varsity.
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
you put them in one of those tournaments you guys play in next year,
The
Coach?
JV team only lost 1 or 2 games. I can't quit.
So this is a good question for you, Coach, because I don't think there's many guys that would be better to ask. Maybe you, Dave Wilson. Go back to the start of your career, or take us back a ways. How do you think? Do you think Missouri high school baseball has grown? Do you think we have raised the level? Schools are starting to make more commitments to facilities, and are we seeing more guys move on, or is that just figment of the imagination?
No, I totally agree with that. When I first started going to Final Fours in 1991, nobody really knew us. We didn't have any college recruits, But now, the way things have progressed with the training facilities and the commitment that some of these guys have gotten into as far as just being baseball-specific guys throughout the state has really grown. And to testament to the facilities thing, we just practiced at Logan Rogersville. It's a Class 4 school, a brand new turf field that's just absolutely gorgeous. And more fields throughout the state are going to the turf war, and they got lights too, so
Yep.
They can play all day and all night, man.
Coach,
That's
these
beautiful.
Springfield schools haven't figured out. They all. I made a trip through here this spring and went to Glendale, Springfield Catholic. I knew about Logan Rogersville. Kickapoo. They're doing new turf. Beautiful facilities down here.
Yeah, they're doing it right. I mean,
I think they
up.
got St. Louis and Kansas City edged out if we're looking across the board in terms of who's putting together.
Blue Springs got it now. I mean, they got turf.
Yes.
Both them. So, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and that helps. I mean, and not only it helps just, the looks of it, just being able to practice. I mean, you don't have to get rained out.
And it probably helps you could get some of those, convince some of those young guys, hey, I want to play baseball. Look at that sweet setup they got. I'm going to do that and not just do football or just play basketball. I want to be on that awesome new facility.
I want to go to Francis Howell, not CBC.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's
you're competing
those are
versus,
choices.
Yes.
Those are choices those kids make. We can't recruit, they can. So that's the way it is. But you got to have the best facility. That's why I work so hard on my field. It's got to be attractive. And when you win, that helps.
You need to get one of those. It's like a junior college. Where have they moved on to, Coach? You get that on your website.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Where do they play now?
Turn them out. Yes. Where are they now?
I do have one of my pages is alumni college choices, and some of them have 3 or 4 now because everybody keeps jumping around. But I do have that. It's one page on my website, and it's pretty extensive.
I guarantee it.
That's a pet project of mine. I got to try and keep up. It's hard when everybody's moving around, and they get in the pro ball and they move around there, and you try and figure out where they're at.
I always like when I'm wearing my shirt. I appreciate. Yeah, Kevin's got to jump over to that game. Thanks,
Blast
Kevin.
out over here on the 3A state championship.
Better get some
you
video
gotta go
on
do
that,
bro.
Yeah. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Kevin.
But the GAC coach, I know Coach Scott Harris has done a great job with the baseball and stuff and doing those things. And the GAC, we have Fort Zumwalt South represented here. I love that conference. I think it's top to bottom. It's one of the toughest conference in the country.
It's tough.
And I love that thought process when you're seeing these teams having success. And you see 2 teams out of the GAC in the Final Four. That's pretty impressive.
Cool. And Borgia, they're right down the road.
There you go. There you go. Coach?
Appreciate you having me.
Always, man. Always. I appreciate you taking the time today. I really do. And
no problem.
the fellas, bringing the fellas over, that was a fun conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to miss them.
Yeah. That's got to be tough, isn't it?
It is.
Always sending those kids. They come back, though, Coach.
They do.
Yeah, they do. Hey, folks, Coach Tony Perkins, Francis Howell, Vikings. Coach, good luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate Coach Perkins taking the time. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in today. It's finishing up here. We'll be back tomorrow morning live for our Class 5, Class 6, we will have Coach Andrew Boning from Webb City. We're hoping to get Coach Friedel in here tomorrow afternoon as well. And then on Saturday, we're going to have Coach Logan Hughes from Nixa. So we got Coach Roach come from Jackson High School as well. We got a lot of guys, a lot of fun. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, all you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. You hitters, hit them where they ain't. And we will see you next time.